Let's take a look at how we can get rid of these loading glitches in Squarespace 7.1 for any of your client projects. Now, these flashes on the screen don't always show up on heavy coded sites. They also show up on simpler ones. And they're mainly caused due to things like section dividers, video backgrounds, heavy imagery, and even collection blocks like summary blocks on the top hero area. In those cases, we can't quite fix the underlying issue, but we can get around it without having to use something as obvious as a loading screen or the site-wide animations. So today I want to show you the solution that I implement on client sites when there's nothing else to optimize, nothing to fix, nothing can be removed, and I need to get rid of those glitches. And that is to create a content delay loading animation that looks like this. To implement it, we only need to take 3 steps. First, we need to pick the container that we want to animate. Second, we need to create the animation. And third, we need to link that animation to the container we chose in the first step. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the code. So first here, I'm going to decide which container I want to target. Now, this can vary depending on when or where you want to add the animation. If you want to hide everything, including header, footer, and the content area, what I would recommend working with is either the body tag or this container that has an ID of site wrapper. So this one is holding everything, including this little floating cart button that only shows up in certain cases when you have a shop on the site and then you have this option selected. And then we have the header element in its entirety. We have the whole main area that's holding all of the content inside the page. And then here we have the footer section. So again, you can choose if you want to just animate one of these parts of the page. For example, if you just want to animate the content portion, then that would mean selecting this container that has an ID of page instead of the one that I'm going to be working with. If you want to animate only the footer and the header, for example, then you can select those containers instead. As I said, I'm going to be animating everything here on my page. So I'm going to be working with this big wrapper that's called site wrapper. I'm going to grab the ID of this container and I'm going to add it inside my custom CSS window. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the initial state that this element is going to have on page load. So I don't want this to show up until I tell it to. So I'm going to start with an opacity of 0 to be able to hide everything that I have on the screen. Now, the next step here is going to be to create the animation. We're going to be using keyframes to be able to build this. So we're going to create our keyframes animation and we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call this one reveal, but feel free to use any other name that you like. Just make sure to adjust it later on in the other part of the code. So once I have my keyframes reveal name here, then all I need to do is include the steps that this animation is going to take, which in this case is going to be just one, which is the final one. It's just to bring everything back to an opacity of 1. So I can use in here either 100% or the keyword of 2 to refer to that last step that I want to target in the animation. So once I have that there, I just need to decide or tell the browser really what we're going to do. So we want the reveal to go to an opacity of 1 or the animation to go to the final step of opacity 1. And with that in place, all we need to do now is just go back into the original container that we're targeting and add in our animation. So here's where you can get a little bit creative. Depending on how smooth you want the animation transition to be, you can change the timing of it. So first, we're going to just add in the name of our animation because otherwise the browser doesn't really know which animation we want to work with. Then we're going to add in that slow transition. So this could range from 0 seconds to whichever number you like. So again, this is going to be the time it takes from opacity 0 to change to opacity of 1. There's just going to be that transition period. So I think I'm going to make it 0.5 seconds just to make it really obvious at first, and then we're going to adjust from there. Now, the next thing here, and this is important, we need to set the direction of the animation because we don't want this to flow from opacity 0 to opacity 1 and then back to opacity 0. We want it to stick on that final state. So we're going to be using here the keyword of forwards to tell the browser that we want the animation to go into that final step and stop there. And then lastly, we're going to be adding the delay. So this is going to be the time it's going to take for the animation to run after the page has loaded. This is where we're going to set the time we want to wait to see everything on the screen so that there's enough room for everything to reorganize in the backend where the user is not seeing it before it's brought up into display. So let's set this to, again, I'm gonna make it kind of obvious, so let's make it 1 second, all right? So once we have that there, we're gonna see the example here in the backend, but I actually want to load the live side to see the final result. All right, so let's go ahead and test it out here. If I refresh the page, you can see how after 1 second, you can try to count it, but after 1 second, everything loads on the page and you can see how it sort of dims into the screen. It doesn't come in abruptly. So that is because of that small transition that I added in there of 0.5 seconds. I'm gonna show you the difference with a couple of values so that you can adjust it based on your needs. But from the get-go, you can see that this is a much sleeker and sort of like smoother entry into the website than having everything just sort of click into position while the person is seeing the site. Let's go ahead and adjust this number here. So if I were to leave the delay as 1 second and then set this to 0 seconds so that there's no transition between opacity 0 and opacity 1, then this is what we would see. If I refresh the page, you can see how after 1 second, everything sort of like jumps into the screen. So again, there's no smooth period between that opacity 0 and opacity 1. It just goes into the screen after that 1 second wait period. So if I load here again, you can see the same thing. If I were to make that really slow, so if I were to set this to 1 second as well, then you're going to see a different effect. So after 1 second, because I haven't changed the delay, it takes 1 second for everything to load on the screen, which gives you more of a loading screen kind of look without the actual loading screen. And then if I were to modify the delay, let's put this back to 0.5 seconds. If I were to make the delay a little bit longer, making that 2 seconds, if I refresh this, now the page or the browser waits 2 seconds before everything is brought in at 0.5 seconds in time. So again, seeing how these numbers work, you can go ahead and adjust this based on how heavy your hero areas are. And of course, you could implement this on a page-by-page basis if you needed to make slight time adjustments for each of the pages, but in general, I would recommend having the same time for everything, just leaving the whole code inside your custom CSS window. So that's it. That's everything that I have for you today. I really hope that you found this helpful. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up or let me know in the comments down below. In any case, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.